Hey boys, welcome back to another Bleach Soul video, and today we have another episode of Reasons to Resurrect. In this episode we're going to be talking about the Be Live V banner. So this banner right here, the Lost Agent Summons Believe, aka Be Live V, is named after chapter 474 with the same name, Be Live V. Alright, so this banner right here, when it first came out, was actually very, it was a big banner because many fought Kenpachi. Now Toshio was actually very good at the time, and so was the Ikaku. Funny enough, the banner on screen right now, Ikaku isn't in like the actual banner. Like he's in the banner, but he's not in like the banner picture, which I think is one of the few rare times we don't have all three banner characters, which is kind of funny. So this banner was very good for two reasons. One, Kenpachi, and also it was kind of a new ability in the game where boost characters, so Ikaku and this Kenpachi, well, they both had boost strong attacks as their second strong attack, and this was the first time, the very first time, where those boost strong attacks would also do damage. So prior to this, boost characters never did any damage. If you use that boost, it was pretty much just you were just buffing yourself and not damaging the enemy. So for SP characters, having a boost strong attack wasn't really that good. For these two characters, the Ikaku and Broken, it was actually very good because obviously you want to use chappies on them, so you didn't really mind if their second strong attack did damage or not, because that's not really the appeal in the character. So sometime after this is when we started to see characters get boost strong attacks as SP characters. So that was kind of a good change that came along with this banner. But the main appeal in this banner straight off the bat was Kenpachi, aka Broken. This character was by far the most dominant PvP character in the game, the most dominant NAD character in the game. Honestly, it was insane. Global players, because we were a month behind, everyone just went into save mode for this Kenpachi. Lucky for me, I do remember obviously pulling on this banner, and I think I walked away with Kenpachi in 4 multis. So I was absolutely blessed. I saved around 3 kills, which honestly, nowadays is quite tame for me. If I have 3 kills, that's like, I'm not comfortable. Back then, however, 3 kills was a lot of orbs, and if I got shafted, I would have probably quit the game. So I was lucky enough to get Kenpachi. I was rocking the triple Kenpachi team at the time. That was the meta PvP team, and honestly, I was enjoying PvP until like every other future character was PvP related. So that being said, that was the Kenpachi talk. The Toshio was actually a very good SP character. The only SP character between the new 3 banner characters, because Ikaku was also a NAD character. Honestly, he was actually very good too. All 3 characters were very good on their release. Now, if you look at the Philippo was pretty yikes, let's be honest. So none of these characters, I think, were top tier at the time. They were cool to have. You know, back then when Global was still new, like, what, at this point, Global just celebrated their 1-year anniversary. So not everyone had a lot of 5 stars, right? You were still missing a lot of characters. So any of these characters in the Philippo was actually very good to have if you didn't have them. Nowadays, obviously, if you get them, there's just resurrection orbs. So that was the, I guess, backstory or my memory of the banner. If you have a different memory of it, let me know in the comments below. Now let's talk about the new resurrected characters. Alright, so the first character we're talking about is TLA Toshio. Toshio is a sorry but Captain Heart character with the Aranka kill ability. This was actually very good because I believe back then there wasn't a lot of good Heart Aranka killers or just good Aranka killers in general. So he was definitely one of the better ones. And with his resurrection, he actually did pick up a very good soul trait, similar to all these other characters that we're going to be talking about. So originally, this Toshio's soul trait was strong attack damage plus 20%. And now with the resurrection, he picked up an additional strong attack recharge time minus 10%. That's a very good combination of skills, and honestly probably the one of the best ones you can ask for. It can't really get worse than this. Very good. And funny enough, he now completes the holy trinity of heart characters having strong attack damage and a recharge. So now if you are a heart character, you have access to one of the best links in the game. If you have all 3 of these characters, it's actually really insane that the kind of link this character is. Alright, so he's already a good link, we know that. Now let's talk about the character that the upgrade he received. Now, unfortunately, compared to the other characters, he definitely saw the quote-unquote worst upgrade, and that's already because he had a good set of skills prior to his resurrection. So before resurrecting, he had the following skills: Blast Zone plus 20%, Bruiser plus 20, Debilitator for 5 seconds, Devastation plus 40, Frenzy, Long Reach plus 10%, and Sprinter plus 1. A good set of skills, can't really go wrong with that. And then when he did resurrect, he has now the following skills: Blast Zone plus 20%, Bruiser plus 40, Debilitator plus 5, Devastation plus 40, Frenzy, Long Reach plus 10, and Sprinter plus 1. So the only difference he saw in his skills was an increase of his Bruiser by 20%. So now he does 20% more normal attack damage. Now, as we know about this character, he is a strong attack character. That increase on his normal attack damage isn't really ideal. I mean, it is better, to be fair. And with this character, because he does have a Vortex, you do want to kind of use your NAD quite a bit. So I guess it kind of makes sense. It does make him a tad bit better. But honestly speaking, he could have got a better upgrade. Maybe got some Berserker in there. But honestly, with the link he got, you really can't complain. And this character, when I did play with him, was honestly pretty fun. I mean, I don't really like characters that have vortexes as a second strong attack. His one was quite short, so I didn't really mind it. Similar to the Nelio that we talked about a few weeks back. it was okay. And another thing about his character is that he didn't see an increase on his long reach, but similar to the other Resurrection characters, if you don't have a 375 normal attack string radius, it now gets pushed up to that. So if they do have long reach, they see an increase in their normal attack string. So originally this Toshio had a 357 radius normal attack string, now it's 412. I just believe just shy of 420, where I believe most characters cap at for Resurrection. So again, a pretty good upgrade. The main thing about this character is the link, and he did get a very good one, so you really can't complain about the treatment that Caleb did for this character. Next character we're talking about is Ikaku. Now, Ikaku is a tech super character with the Hollow Killer ability. Now, this character, even though he did receive a fairly decent upgrade, unfortunately, with just the way he plays and also his soul trait, it wasn't enough to make him usable and also a good link, unfortunately. So, what did he receive with this upgrade? So Ikaku prior to Resurrecting had the soul trait of attack plus 100. Yes, no percentage, just attack plus 100. Now back when he came out, this wasn't good. This soul trait has never been good. And actually they had to buff it because originally it was lower than 100 attack. The optimal choice for boosting your normal attack damage was always using normal attack damage link. So he never really got his time to shine as a link. And even now, it's worse now actually, because we do have Transcendence. Transcendence increase your attack by 500. That's just way better. That extra 100 attack, if you do decide for some reason to link this character, just really doesn't make that much of a difference, and it's honestly not that good. That being said, he also did get a very good second soul trait, and that's damage taken minus 12%, which honestly can't really complain about. Now, only if his original soul trait was good, this would have been a nasty combination. Now, maybe it would have been better for him to receive a no attack damage. Maybe that would have been good. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, this combination of attack plus 100 and damage taken minus 12%, you're never really going to use that in PvP. It's just better to bring 16 DR. So unfortunately, this character is never going to really see any play as a link. But how about him as a character? Let's talk about it. So originally before Resurrecting, he had the following skills: Berserker plus 40, Bombardment, Bruiser plus 20, Enhancer, Long Reach plus 15, and Sprinter plus 1. And then now with Resurrection, he has the following skills: Berserker plus 40, Bombardment, Bruiser plus 50, Enhancer, Long Reach plus 20, Sprinter plus 1, and Weaken Defense. So we saw 2 upgrades and 1 new skill. Bruiser got increased by 30% from 20 to 50, which if you don't know, that's normal attack damage. That's actually a very good upgrade for this character since he is normal attack damage based. Can't really complain about that. If he did receive Flurry, that would have been a lot better, but obviously Caleb aren't ready to give Resurrection characters Flurry, so honestly can't complain about that. His second upgrade was Long Reach got increased by 5%, so instead of 15%, it's now 20%. Which is actually fairly decent, because if you actually look at his attack string, similar to all other characters, if the character's base nat string isn't 375, it gets pushed to 375 with their Resurrection, and if they do have any kind of long reach, they see a bigger increase on their radius. So the average no attack string for like every new character is 375. With these Resurrection characters, because most of them do come with long reach, they start hitting the 400 numbers, which is quite funny, right? So this character, this Ikaku, had 375 radius on his no attack string, and with the Resurrection and that extra 5% increase on his long reach, he now has 450 radius, which with playing this character, I will say is fairly big. It makes a big difference because there's no attack string, like it hits a lot of times, so you could potentially get hit a lot. It does help that you can kind of keep your distance and just make sure that you avoid getting hit, so fairly decent. So overall as a character, he did receive a pretty good upgrade. Unfortunately, it's just not enough. That's just how it is. If he received Flurry, even if he did actually get Flurry, I don't think it would have been enough. Unfortunately, just how it is. And even as a link, his original soul trait just wasn't good, so this character is pretty much going to collect dust in your box, unfortunately. Even though he did receive a fairly decent upgrade, it just wasn't enough. Alright, so now it's time to talk about the man Broken. Now, before going into this Resurrection, I knew outright this Resurrection won't save him. It won't make him usable in PvP. I mean, he is still somewhat usable compared to other characters, but it wasn't going to make him like get instantly top 10 because of this, which is a bit unfortunate, but it's just the way Resurrections do work. It's not like they add status augments. If he had status augments, it would have been a lot better, but that being said, he did receive a decent upgrade, I will say that. So what did he get with this Resurrection? Well, prior to Resurrecting, he had the following soul trait: damage taken minus 16%. Very good soul trait, just the average DR. So what this means is if he just received a good second soul trait, then he's goated, right? And he actually did receive a fairly decent soul trait. He got Last Ditch survival rate plus 80%. It's not no attack damage, but you can't really complain because we literally just got 20 DR and 16% no attack damage in the Mashiro, I think a few weeks back. So it's no surprise he didn't get that, because I feel like that would have been a bit too much for PvP. And funny enough, I mentioned it a couple days ago or yesterday that speed characters now have like the best set of links for PvP, which is going to be big because obviously Drukrim's coming out. So these kind of skills are definitely definitely going to be good. Maybe Last Ditch will become the meta now because you have to stall out 10 seconds if you decide to go against Strugan, because you're not going to do any damage to him. So Last Ditch might become the meta. We're going to have to wait and see. It is still fairly decent. So if you do have this link and you have the DR, your main character, let's say you're using Chad or Ichigo, they're going to resurrect. 80% chance is fairly high. So blue characters or speed characters did receive a pretty good buff with this soul trait, so you can't really complain about that. And then if we talk about him being a playable character, prior to resurrecting, he had the following set of skills: Berserker plus 20, Devastation plus 20, Flurry, Havoc plus 10, Long Reach plus 15, and Poise. Fairly decent set of skills. Now with resurrecting, he has Berserker plus 30, Bruiser plus 20, Devastation plus 20, Flurry, Havoc plus 10, Long Reach plus 20, and Poise. So what actually changed, right? Well, firstly, he got a 10% increase in his Berserker, which is strong attack damage. Really not noticeable. You don't really care about that if you do decide to use him using Chappies. So pretty much a useless buff there. He did pick up Bruiser plus 20%, which again is normal attack damage, which is actually fairly good if you decide to use this character in PvP or PvE. He now just does a bit more damage. So can't really complain about that, especially with Flurry. Flurry and Bruiser is a nasty combination, so I do like that. And the last upgrade is Long Reach plus 15% is now Long Reach plus 20%. So it's not, I think, what we wanted. It's a good upgrade, I will say that. It's not what people wanted, though. People wanted him to have Sprinter plus 1. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that, so he can only one flash step. Pretty much unusable unless you want to auto with this character. But other characters auto better, so for PvE play, you're never going to use this character. For PvP, I guess he's somewhat a bit more usable now, so it's okay. If you're if you're new and you're in the lower leagues and you have this character, he is an option to use in PvP. Not entirely a bad thing, in my opinion. Now, similar to Ikaku, he did receive the same buff in his no attack string. Originally, prior to resurrecting, it was 373, and with resurrection, it's now 450. Now, I think that's, again, a pretty good upgrade. I like it, so I can't really complain. So overall, did he receive a good upgrade? Honestly, I'd say so. I think he did receive a good upgrade. Resurrection standards, I think this is actually fairly good. Unfortunately, it's just not what we wanted. I feel like he could have gotten more, but like I said, resurrection standards, this is actually quite nice, and I like it. And it's okay. So Broken isn't back to top 10 PvP, but he is now usable, I guess, in PvP, even then not in the higher leagues, definitely in the lower leagues. And at least he's a link now for your better PvP characters. Saving the best for last, we have 2nd Anniversary Ichigo, who definitely saw the best upgrade and probably the most usable resurrected character in the game because he did receive the resurrection quite early. Now, this character is a speed Soripa Hollow with the Aranka kill ability. His soul trait prior to resurrecting is strong attack damage plus 25%. So it's an enhanced strong attack damage link, which is actually pretty good. Now, if he received a good second soul trait, then he'd be quite goated, and lucky for us, with resurrection, he did receive that. He's now a 25% strong attack damage link and 10% recharge. That's an amazing link. And if you have the new Anniversary Byakuya, this Ichigo is the best link for him, or any speed character in the game, even Bazby. So what did he receive with his skills to make him an actual good playable character? So prior to resurrecting, he had these following set of skills: Bruiser plus 40, Devastation plus 40, Frenzy, and Sprinter plus 2. Only has 4 skills, which is actually fairly low, even for when he came out. So with resurrection, he now picked up 2 new skills, and now he has the following set of skills, right? Berserker plus 20, Bruiser plus 40, Devastation plus 40, Frenzy, Havoc plus 20, and Sprinter plus 2. So what did he get with this resurrection? Well, he got Berserker plus 20, which is strong attack damage plus 20%, which is insane, because now basically he has a 45% strong attack damage increase. On top of that, the 10% recharge, and surprisingly, the second new skill he got was Havoc plus 20%, which increases the range of his strong attacks by 20%. An amazing buff. Now, the reason why I think he did get these good buffs is because, 1, maybe he's an Anniversary character and they want to make an exception, or 2, it's because he only had 4 skills. So we actually did get, you know, just the standard, I guess, set of skills. But Berserker plus 20 and Havoc plus 20% really does make a massive difference. Now, one good thing about this character is that with Resurrection, it did fix that second strong attack. Originally, that second strong attack was classed as a melee attack. So if you tried to guard break with that, let's say you're going against a range guard and you only have your second strong attack available and it doesn't kill them, you have to wait for your first or third to come back before you can break the guard. So now, with Resurrecting, that second strong attack is now a ranged attack. It still works the same, but it's just classed as a range attack, which is all you can ask for with this character. It's also good if you, for some reason, if you do want to bring him into extreme co-op. So strong attack wise, his first strong attack is a bit iffy. It's a range collision strong attack. It's not the best, but with the Havoc it does make it a bit better. His second is a lunge, so now it's probably one of the best lunges in the game. Obviously it does come at the price of being a second strong attack. And his third, which is by far the most impressive thing about this character, is that prior to resurrecting, he already had a full screen charged strong attack. So he didn't need Havoc like these new characters do. When a new character has a charged strong attack and they have Havoc, for example Basby, without Havoc they don't have a full screen charged strong attack. The Havoc makes it full screen. So because this character already had a full screen charged strong attack with the Havoc, it's now a 1200 radius charged strong attack, which actually, funny enough, makes it the best charged strong attack in the game. It has the most range. Unfortunately, it doesn't affect any status elements, so maybe Ichigo's is better, the 5th anniversary version, but the range is something not to laugh at. It's a very good upgrade. This 2nd anniversary Ichigo is by far the best resurrection character in the game, and actually, dare I say top 10 speed character? Probably not, but definitely top 20. I would definitely say top 20, which is actually good for this kind of character. So overall, with this resurrection batch, the Be Naive banner and this Ichigo, they all received fairly good upgrades, and they also, all 4 of them received good soul traits, which is very rare for K-Lab to do. So I hope they do kind of stick with this trend of giving just good soul traits to these resurrection characters and making them a bit more enjoyable to play in the game. I like it. I don't think anyone complained about this resurrection, all 4 of them. I think most people were impressed by it and were kind of excited to finally play with these characters again. I was playing with this Ichigo all day today, and honestly, that first strong attack is a bit of a yikes, but you can get around it. He's fairly enjoyable now, and I'm happy with this resurrection. So that was the video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think about these resurrections in the comments below. And yeah, I like it. I like it. Next resurrection batch should be the Nemu banner, so look forward to that. Alright lads, that was the video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.